You can check out all the episodes of The Table of Truth on our website, www.tableoftruth.com.
You're listening to The Basements.
What's going on, y'all? We are back. Happy New Year. This is your boy Ant. Got my man to the right, D. Say what up.
What up, y'all? It's Dwayne, aka Young Chipotle, chilling in the building. Happy New Year, all that good stuff.
You mean young E. coli?
Yeah, there we go. I gotta shut it down for a day.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? This is Cam from NorCal, San Jose, California.
Yo, what's good, y'all? We are back. We had the long vacay, New Year. So how's everybody doing, man?
Happy New Year, everybody, and Happy New Year to y'all listeners out there.
Oh yeah, doing good, man. Yo, can I ask a quick question? Like, why in the dead of winter is it considered a New Year? Does that make sense to you guys, or is it just me?
I ain't gonna lie, I'd rather start it in June when it's hot, but
Yeah, the spring. Like when things are coming back to life, shouldn't that be the beginning of the new year?
I don't know. I mean,
I gotta do some research, but I just think it's I just think it's stupid to start the new year in the middle of like 2-degree weather.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
yeah. Well, I guess I like it because of the playoffs. The NFL playoffs and Super Bowl's coming up, so
I'm here talking about agriculture and farming, and you talking about
ain't no sports in New Year's after New Year's if it was in June, so it'll be kind of boring. At least I know in the New Year that NFL playoffs about to kick off. Basketball is lit, so
yeah, but you're not gonna be home in June. June you out and about, barbecues, enjoying the sunset and all that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
you're not even worried about sports. I know I'm not watching baseball. I don't know about you guys.
I tell you what, this year it was where I'm at in VA. It was 87 degrees on New Year's, so it was crazy. I had on shorts and flip flops when I went to the store on New Year's. That was the
Global
first
warming, kid.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was.
I haven't had. I didn't put on my winter jacket yet. I haven't had my jacket on yet.
Damn.
I'm in the closet collecting dust.
I will. You know, it's the beginning of the New Year. It's been starting off pretty damn good. I can't hate on it. I wasn't mad that it wasn't cold for Christmas. It was like 70 degrees. I'm sweating.
Well, you were in New York though. You gotta let the people know that.
Oh yeah,
So
pardon me. Yeah,
yeah.
I was on the East Coast, and
you brought the West Coast weather with you.
man, about damn time. I wasn't mad at it. I mean, one of our friends' brother was like, "Man, I wish it was snowing." I looked at him hella crazy. He's like, "Nah, like."
we not 8. You can keep
Yeah, I
that.
know. I'm good, but
Now you know what it is. It's like romanticized. Like out here in Long Beach, they got the Queen Mary, and they do like a little snow showcase over there for like a couple weeks. I'm like,
It's fake.
I moved away from the snow. I don't want to see that. Yeah, it is fake snow, but it's like people just have that white Christmas kind of thing in their head, man.
You can't be disrespecting old man winter making fake snow. That's disrespect, man. If it's gonna snow, let it snow.
Word. Embrace where you're at. You know what I mean? Like, yo, just don't listen to White Christmas. Don't listen to those songs.
But when I left, it got dumbass cold there though.
You took the weather with you, man.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was real crazy. Go ahead.
Did you guys catch any like holiday movies during the holidays?
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
watched.
know like Star Wars came out, Creed,
I seen Star Wars and Creed, and then
Hateful Eight, Revenant.
I caught Hateful Eight, thanks to no, actually, you know, I actually saw it in the theaters, but a certain site that shall remain nameless, I was able to watch what's the Tom Hardy movie when he was together as a twin?
The Revenant. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember off the top of my head though. It was
Leonardo stepped his game up, man. His movie, man. Once again, he raised the bar. That movie was crazy.
Mm.
We're talking about the Revenant. Like but don't you think he's always a good actor? Don't you think he's always pushing the boundaries as an actor?
Tom Hardy?
No, Leonardo.
I don't know. All right.
He did good in this one. He he never seems to amaze me.
Look at the roles he plays. Like the dude from The Wolf of Wall Street is not the guy from Departed. The guy from The Revenant, like he steps it up every time. I think.
Hmm.
Like
Oh,
he goes outside the box.
he's top five yet? He up there?
Hell, of all time,
Yeah.
he easily for me on my top 5.
Yeah, I gotta put him up there, man. I think he beat my man Johnny Depp. I think I took Johnny off the list.
Johnny ain't even in my top 20, kid.
He ain't.
uh, I, I'm not a fan of his like character. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a character actor, but I don't know, man. If that dude does not have on a black makeup, I mean a white face and some dark clothing,
That's
can't
him.
act, man.
Hey, but at least he does those roles real good. At least he does it really good. He is weird though. But I rocks with him though. I think I took him. I think Leonardo took his spot, man. He's up there now. I can't even hate no more, man. My man is sleeping in dead bellies and shit. I said, all right, you got it, man. You got it.
I know. I was thinking about Han Solo Luke when I saw that part. I was like, what is going on here?
I wouldn't have made it at 3 hours, man. That, whew.
Yeah, Cam, when you see it, man, they're just the bear scene. That's all you need to see, yo.
Yo,
Okay.
why am I had to close my eyes watching that part. I was like, oh shit.
I don't know
You guys watch
how they
it?
did that.
Did you guys watch it in the theaters or like your other resources?
Other resources, you know what I'm saying? We will pillows listen.
Yeah.
You know?
Or speaking of pirates,
Yeah, we speaking math. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying we don't we don't nest either, man. We keep it. It was good though. I can't really talk about it because you ain't see it yet, so I'm gonna keep it quiet. But
all right. Well, a movie we all saw was Star Wars.
yeah,
So, thumbs up for you guys. What do you think about it?
A thumbs up with an asterisk.
yeah. I'm gonna
What's
give
the
it.
asterisk for?
Because it wasn't really a great movie. We was really watching episode 4, and it's a hashtag. I mean hashtag. It's just basically.
Yo, hold on, real quick. If you guys didn't watch the movie, just pause this part right here. So, go ahead, Cam.
You
Sorry.
about to spoil everything right now.
No, it's so good. Yeah.
I mean, shit, it's a new year, man. It came out like a month ago.
Yeah.
We put the warning out, so say what you gotta say.
Yeah. The movie didn't really give me anything that I was like, okay, it's a lot of plot holes, character development that didn't seem natural. But at the same time, I did leave out of the theater with a smile on my face, like I'm glad I watched it, you know.
Yeah.
So, I can't complain.
And what you think about it, Ant?
Yeah, when you know, it's funny. The first time I seen it, I was still on that Star Wars. Also, I couldn't really. I was trying to focus on everything, but I didn't want to be biased because it was Star Wars. But I will say in the beginning, I'm like, okay, I've seen this, I've seen it, but I'm glad they started from the very beginning, fresh, no extra Darth Mauls running around. I like how they kept it, like you said, like the original from part 1, because it was funny after the movie was over. Some kids in the bathroom like, this movie sucked. Was it action? And I'm like, yo, what y'all expect? Darth Maul running around? And they was like, yeah, we thought it was gonna be crazy. I said, listen, y'all, sorry, man, he had to start from the beginning. So a lot of people actually thought it was gonna be Darth Maul again, just people with lightsabers running around doing backflips, and it was actually a story to it. So
Why did they think Darth Maul was gonna be around? He quote
they just
unquote
wanted
died.
action. A lot of people wanted more action.
Oh, okay, I see what you're
A
saying.
lot of new fans, like the young crowd, they wanted more action.
Mhm.
They wasn't trying to hear all the stories and start from the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, the Luke scene beat Lord of the Rings as the hardest ending of all time.
No,
That was the hardest ending. Yo, cause Luke's my favorite character. So when I couldn't get a speech, I was still happy, but I was like, "You're not gonna talk." Yo,
Yeah.
by the way, I thought he was actually gonna fight in the movie. I thought he was. I was like, "Yo, we about to see Luke." So when I saw him over the cliffs,
Hello?
I was like,
Yo, Ant,
"It's over."
And I think your connection's acting up, man. Make sure you on Wi-Fi, brother.
I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm gonna be working soon.
you on just the why right now.
Yeah.
It's still coming on.
Yeah.
Nah, you just cut out for a second. It's like your Wi-Fi is acting up over there, man.
My fault.
Nah, it's fine.
I mean,
Yo,
yeah,
I thought it was like to say what you guys are saying. I think it's a perfect theater movie. Like I
Hmm.
think that's a movie you have to. It's an experience. Like I was smiling watching it, like and laughing along. Like granted, I don't think I'm gonna do that in my own house, but watching it with other people interacting, watching the film,
Hmm.
I thought it was a great film. But in terms of if you want to get like super deep and start nitpicking, there's things you could nitpick from it. But I just think they took what Lucas did and just like improved on it and brought it to like this generation. Like it was a fun movie,
Yeah. It was a great movie. Oh, great
a lot of
fun.
fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it
Go
it was
out and
really
not dumb it down, but just if you're a fan of the Star Wars ethos,
yeah.
um, it was cool to get that nostalgic feeling, the hype, to go to the theater and see like-minded individuals
Son,
who are
when the
both there.
sound started, when the words come up, I just started smiling.
yeah.
As soon as
Yeah.
it kicked up, I was like, oh man,
Oh, I have
yeah,
I have one bad thing. I've seen it with a bougie crowd, so I'm the only one saying woo when Han Solo came out. Everybody all quiet. The day I saw it the next day, and I saw it late night, and the crowd was like whack. I'm just like, yo, this is Star Wars, man. What the I just that kind of annoyed me, so I couldn't really cheer when I wanted to cheer. I didn't want to be the only one screaming, but I did. I even stood up, got up a couple of times. That was just me. So I wish next time I'm gonna see it on like the opening day with the nerds. I gotta be with the geeks. I wasn't with the geeks. It was a Hollywood crowd, but overall the movie to me it was funny. I love the cast. The actors were perfect. I have no problems with that.
yo, can Finn get a hairline though? Can a brother is there a Jedi barbershop
You know,
somewhere out there, man? I'm like, yo, come on, man. I love that kid though, but I'm like, yo, just give him a hairline real quick. Can he get a shape up? Damn.
yeah. I'm almost, the second one has to be it's like Empire Strikes Back. It's gonna be dark, and I'm expecting that.
I'm kind of tight. J.J. Abrams is not gonna be doing it, but
Oh, he's
yo,
not.
yeah,
Why?
somebody else stepped. I don't know. They got like another director, and I think they have another director for the last one. But we'll see. I I really wish he was doing it because I thought he did a great job, and he did make a lot of things super detailed. So we'll see
Mm.
what happens. I wish, like, I mean, I get the part with Luke. I just wish they didn't show it at all. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, just. But then people would have felt like they got left hanging. I thought like they were saving Luke for the next one,
Hmm.
so that those last couple seconds, I was like, just don't give us anything.
Hmm.
That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, just let them go off and end it that way. Let them
Yeah.
go off and go find Luke. That's how I thought it was gonna end. They found him
Interesting.
like 3 seconds later. I was like, yo, wait a minute. how
I
how they
mean,
already
they
here?
got warp speed. You don't need to show the actual progress of them traveling, trying to
Nah,
find them. Once they
oh
put
yeah.
the map
Well,
together, it was good.
I want to know the origins of this girl. So I mean, that's something that we're gonna look forward to in the next one.
That's not his. They're not brothers and sisters. And all my bugging.
Who? Yo, Ed, log out and come right back, yo. Your thing is still kind of cracking up right now. We gotta
And with
make
the
sure
technical difficulties.
we gotta make sure Cam edits this, knowing him. Oh, my fault. I didn't
Yeah.
edit.
I remember he put he put the edit and like he put it from like all our outtakes, and I was like, "Yo, how
Yeah,
you
like stop eating pot brownies when you editing these joints, man. You gotta make sure stuff comes out clean. But hey, whatever. This is behind the scenes bonus struggling. But yo,
yeah."
do you think they should have showed Luke, or what do you think?
I think it was kind of actually in a sense perfect that he didn't say anything.
Yeah, that's
We don't
true.
know we don't know his role yet. But at the same time, I'm looking at it like, all right, we finally got what we all wanted to see. We all like most of the characters that we know that are involved come around full circle, at least for the first one. So you establish the world already. And then the
Yeah.
next one, we can kind of figure out, I'm assuming that I don't even think Finn will have a big role in the second one because I think he's unconscious. He might come near the middle or the end.
Part three. Yeah.
and have a more significant role. I think we're gonna follow the story between Luke and what's her name? Ray?
Jeez.
No.
Yeah. I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, of Luke and Ray, and we're gonna follow lightweight Kylo Ren, aka Ben. For those who don't know, Kylo Ren. We'll just keep it at Kylo Ren. We won't tell you his real name, his last name. I ain't gonna spoil all of it. But
you can't.
Yeah, no. So we will say Kylo Ren. That plot twist, and we're gonna probably get in more into his story. And then I just have a feeling that we won't see Finn until late into the second movie, and then possibly a third will have a larger role. I mean, there's rumors going around who his character could be possibly related to. You can take a wild guess. Yeah.
Oh,
there was a toy that came out that kind of suggested that. So we don't know how true it is. It came out overseas. So
Mace Windu's son?
You know, I mean, just think about all the black characters that prominently in Star Wars, and you could take a smart, educated guess.
There's only a few, bro.
There's only a few. I mean, he could be a stormtrooper.
He could be. I mean, he didn't have Jerry curl, so I don't want to say Lando, but who knows?
I don't think Lando had a Jerry curl. He had a conch.
I was thinking about Billy D and his Jerry curls, yo.
Yeah.
Who had a Jerry curl in the last Star Wars?
No, we saying no one did.
Yeah, well, hey, welcome back, Ant.
I was about to say, yo, Ant, you didn't stay past the credits? You didn't see homie with the Jerry curls? Yo, you know Shorty from Game of Thrones was like that stormtrooper?
Yep.
The one who opened up the shield?
But it's funny you say Shorty. She's like 6'10". Like she's like the white Lamar Odom. Versatile.
Yeah, you're right. She's huge, yo.
I was asking, they're not brothers and sisters, the main two characters?
I'm sorry, would you say that again?
Oh, Finn and Ray?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, no.
I'm talking about the Solo son and the girl.
Yo, come on, man. Yo. All right, we didn't want to ruin it for people. We were trying to keep that part off. All right, let's jump. Let's just jump to Creed real quick. Did you guys see Creed? Everybody saw Creed?
No, I haven't yet, man. I haven't got around to it. I'm gonna watch it tonight, man. I'm gonna do it tonight.
Please do, man.
Yeah, it's the last movie I was pumped to see was just Hateful Eight. It just seemed like it was the right movie for me to see that day.
Which one?
The Hateful Eight.
Oh, Hateful Eight. Okay.
Yeah. I saw that actually in 70mm. Yeah.
I didn't see it yet either. I saw it 2 hours and 47 minutes, and I was like, I gotta make sure I got something to do before I watch this.
Oh, yeah. I did see Concussion. Will Smith stepped his game up in that too.
Tell the truth. He did?
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen a good performance with him. Ever since After Earth or whatever the hell it was called, I gave up on him. But it was good. It was good.
See, I want to not Will. I think he's a solid actor, but when it comes to like emotional stuff, besides the Pursuit of Happiness, I think that's the only time where I was like, damn.
Yeah.
When I saw 7 pounds or whatever it's called?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, but I was watching it and I was like, I was trying to get into his character. Like I wanted to feel his pain. I wanted to but it was something about him where I was like, I can't. Like it's not believable. Mm-hmm. And another actor that I'm going off on actors, but I finally saw Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard, and like there's something about Jake. Like I don't think he's a good actor, man. I don't know why this kid keeps on getting roles in Hollywood, like as a main person. Like when him and Hugh Jackman were acting together, I was like, Hugh Jackman's a Broadway play dude, and he's destroying this guy on the silver screen right now. But that's just me. But back to Creed. Cam, make sure you see Creed.
He stepped up.
Yeah. It's worth the price of admission.
Yeah. He got nominated for an award. I'm shocked.
What? What's that?
Nah, he didn't get nominated for any awards this year. I'm kind of shocked by that because he did really good.
You shouldn't be shocked. I mean, this ain't new.
Eddie Murphy's missing if he is.
I mean, I just thought we was over that already. I thought we was past that already.
No, we're not. And the Oscars, they don't go off the best work. They go off, from what I heard, hype. You know, they see a buzz generated and they just go off that and they watch that. They don't see all the movies. You know, I don't know what this panel is comprised of, but I mean, you know, they're not honestly going to watch every movie that's like out there to give an honest opinion, they're gonna get the ones that are like some of these critics and say that's panned as critically acclaimed, and then they go watch it, and then the Oscar buzz. Because what was the one movie that Ben Affleck directed about them going in as a fake news crew to get these hostages out or something?
Yeah.
It was a couple years ago, but it was like a lot of hype behind it, and the movie was like all right, you know.
No, it wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't a movie where I'm gonna say,
like,
yeah, I'm not gonna say today I'm gonna go back and watch it. For us to struggle to kind of remember, what was the name of this movie? It wasn't a bad movie. Argo was the name of it.
Argo, yeah.
Argo.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a terrible movie. It just I don't feel like it warranted the hype that surrounded the pre Oscar buzz. You know, there's a lot of movies out there.
The movie was like Rocky's big, and the name itself sells itself. So it was just stunning that.
I'm not gonna lie though. I think Sylvester Stallone made that movie. Like without him, of course he has to be in it to connect the new characters.
Yeah.
But to me, like I'm happy at least he's nominated because he did a great job in that film. Like
Yes, he did.
yeah, he took that character to like a new height. Like it was amazing his performance in that.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a quote unquote action star, but I mean Sylvester he's wrote and directed films. So he did his thing. But talking about the Oscars, the whole Oscars so white and Spike Lee's boycotting it, Jada Pinkett's boycotting it.
Do we blame him?
I don't.
He got something for them to come up. He was like, yo, it's okay for us to give them no awards, but we can't win one.
Word. Are you guys gonna watch it?
Nope.
I used to watch it, but I think I'm gonna, and I hate doing that because I don't want to knock all other movies, but at the same time, it's like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, how blatantly can you not one? Not one of us had. Come on, man. We had Strata Compton. You had Creed. You had a few roles that nobody got nominated. You don't have to win, but at least get nominated.
Let me look up the best picture part real quick. Go ahead, Cam, while you talk.
I'm just thinking like I'm boycotting because one, I haven't watched all the movies and I don't want to be swayed by a group of individuals' opinion. Yeah. Honestly, to be honest, they are good movies, but at the same time, I also want to come in and have my own opinion. When I used to be an avid movie watcher, I can come into the awards and say, I think this movie should be Best Picture or this actor really stood out. But I'm kind of far removed from watching movies, and when I do, I kind of binge watch.
Yeah.
But again, we being a minority or a black person in America, we see good movies made by prominent black actors that are maybe critically acclaimed but do not get their just desserts by being nominated by a group of their peers, you know, to say, and we always get the token award, like, oh, if we don't win it, they're gonna give somehow we're gonna have an influx of usually black people winning awards one year. Remember that year when we were winning an Oscar back to back, or it just seems like
Denzel and Halle Berry, right? They both won Best Actor and Actress, I think, like Training Day and Monster Ball.
Yeah.
Was it that year?
I'm getting her back broken. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or Denzel getting it being a villain when he's been playing all these prominent characters
for years.
And then Sidney Poitier won the Lifetime Achievement Award that same year Denzel won. So it was like, all right.
Oh yes, you're right.
So it was almost like, here you go, stop complaining.
Yeah.
Don't ask another one for the next 10 years.
Exactly. I don't know. I have my qualms with it, and plus I'm just not into it like I used to be. I don't know why.
You know what's funny? You know what's I always think too? I'm like, yo, are we bitching too much? But I'm like, at the same time, it's not bitching because it's a fact. Man, people are still not. It's still not even, man. We still gotta fight, and it's aggravated, man. And I can tell Jada Pinkett she was tight. She's like, yo, I'm not supporting this no more, man. Like, this is ridiculous, yo.
See, my question is, when it comes to these, to the panel and to like the people who pick this, and the same thing goes with like people who vote for the Hall of Fame, like where are your credentials? Like, why can't we know who's the tastemakers who are coming up with these lists? Like, it's not fair. I think these people should be made public, so I could be like, yo, Cam, what are you doing voting freaking The Danish Girl to be the best picture? Like, I just think these people, they shouldn't be able to hide behind secrecy. Like if you're gonna make these decisions, we need to know who you are. Like for those 2 people who didn't vote in Ken Griffey or 3 people, like who are you?
Yeah,
What are your credentials? Yeah,
You know,
like
I heard a counter argument to that. Speaking of Ken Griffey, a counter argument that they knew that he was going to get in.
so they didn't want to vote for him.
No, they wanted to vote for another guy that they felt should have been in too.
So wait, do you only get 1 vote though? You know what I mean? Like because
I
like
mean, no, you can
he
put,
was almost
you don't get one
unanimous.
vote. You vote multiple people in, and you spread your votes out.
The only person who had a good point on why it shouldn't be unanimous was Skip Bayless after him when he said
Who you said that?
Skip Bayless is the only one who said why he shouldn't have been unanimous, and he had at least he had a valid point. Well, to him it was
Talk about the end of his career, how he gained weight and all that.
he didn't work out, he didn't respect the game. He was just born with God-given ability, and that was it. He never took it to the next level. And when he said that, I had to think about it. I was like, that makes sense, but at the same time, he still did what he did without lifting weights. So give him his just due. But he said, yo, for me to give him unanimous, you have to be all around perfect. And you did not work out. You gained weight, so you didn't respect your craft. So I can't give it to you all the way out. So at least he told me why, and it made sense. So I couldn't hate.
Yeah, I mean, it is your job as an athlete. I mean, we are changing the subject from Oscars, but it is your job as an athlete to maintain a certain shape. But I mean, if Ken Griffey wasn't in shape or he wasn't good, then he wouldn't be on a roster. I'm not bringing this guy in. Well, maybe it is Ken Griffey, so you might bring him in to fill in some seats. But at the same time, like he was playing in the NL at that time, right? Wasn't he on like Cincinnati?
Mm-hmm.
So like you have to play a position for the team. So I mean, I get what you're saying, Skip Bayless is saying, but to me, stuff like that's nitpicking. We're talking about his entire career. This dude put the Seattle Mariners on the map, just like LeBron put Cleveland Cavaliers on the map. There's few athletes that put a city on their back, and just for that, he's a Hall of Famer. Like you don't even have to think twice.
Yeah.
If he ate a couple jelly donuts towards the end of his career, so be it. I'm pretty sure I'm not as skinny as I was 15 years ago.
That's true. And like
I'm not an athlete, but
his prime,
you get my point.
his prime, he was that dude. And again, he did it during the steroids era. We knew he wasn't on steroids. So can you imagine he took a little bit of the
pay the man juice?
Man, don't even start. You know what? Let's get back to the Oscars, man.
I'll go back to the Oscars.
You think as actors for black men, you take these roles where it ain't black movies, and I'm not saying.
Yo, man, you in Benghazi again, bro? What are you saying? Yo, someone's touching your Wi-Fi antenna.
I feel like I'm telling Aunt my order, and this is the response I get at the drive-thru.
I don't know why.
Are you yelling into the mic? Move your headphone around or something, yo. Are you moving while you talking?
All right, what about now? Good, you get me better?
It's still choppy. I don't know what you doing. It's like after 5 minutes, your joint just dies out, yo.
I feel like you're trying to connect through us with a Radio Shack transmitter, man. Like
next week it will be better. I'm sorry. Next week will be. I'm gonna have to give me a better headset.
Man, you on UHF right now.
Word up. Yo, wait, what was your question though?
I said maybe as far as the roles that we get, maybe we have to stop taking these roles and get bigger roles. But that depends on the writers want to give it to the black actors if they want to get these type of roles. Like I'm just trying to figure out a way.
Well, I don't know if we want to go the route of like, having our own award show to represent.
Don't we have the BET Awards? Well, they don't do movies.
We don't have the BET representative online right now, dude.
Yeah.
I think the BET Awards.
I mean,
but I don't think they don't do the movies, do they?
Or you can boycott it. You can like all the prominent black actors who feel this way should boycott the Oscars and let them take notice and let this be a precedent that if you don't want to include us, we won't include ourselves. Don't put my movie in as a nomination. Let these movies you guys think quote unquote are better movies be the better movie, and then when people start to talking like why aren't these movies in consideration, you can explain to them why. Like the power is always in the people's hands. So
yeah, they don't know how to use it. Like I'm guessing they're saying the three people that should have been nominated. I looked it up real quick. They're saying Will Smith for Concussion,
Mm-hmm.
Idris Elba for Beast of No Nation, and Michael B. Jordan for Creed.
Mm.
To me, out of all those performances, and I didn't see Concussion yet, I thought Idris, like his character on screen was like,
He was a scumbag, yo.
yeah, but I mean, when you first meet that character, like it draws you in. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those roles where you're like, oh man, like, and then as the movie goes on, you figure certain things out. But overall, his performance, I thought he did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he should be
Is that
nominated.
where he was like in an army or something? Military?
Yeah, and
Like
Al-
Guerrilla warfare, but it was more than that though. Like what I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but he played a villain. I'll say that's a villain role for him.
he's a good villain.
He's a good
Like
villain.
yeah, I mean, and it's about child soldiers and I mean, granted, it's a story that's been told a million times, but he should have been nominated. All the hoopla from Concussion, I'm surprised Will Smith didn't get a nomination. I understand Michael B. Jordan maybe not getting it
Mm-hmm.
because I felt Sylvester Stallone carried that movie more than Michael B. Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
But for the movie not to get nominated, like,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Michael B. Jordan.
But Cam, you're 100% right. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not. I mean, I don't
just
even
have
know
no
what day it
interest
comes on.
I have no interest in it. Now, if I happen to walk into a house gathering and they have this on as like part of a party, they have the Oscar. I'm not opposed to sitting there and not being. I don't want to be the Scrooge of it. I just choose not to partake in its festivities and act like I care when. Not that I like if the movie's better than movies on minorities, that's fine. But to sit here and say we have all these quality movies made by prominent black people or minorities, and they're getting all these accolades outside the Oscars, but you don't nominate them, then it sounds like there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
But like you said, who's the one that's making these votes? We have to so we can question them. Why
That's
not?
what I want to know.
it's always been questioned, and now you have certain actors starting to show face and taking about face and starting to protest this because they starting to realize the BS that's going on right now. So
I'm pretty sure someone's gonna touch on it on that night. Someone. I mean, there's probably I don't know who's exactly boycotting it. I don't know if it's gonna be a white person or a black person or a Latino, Latina, but someone's gonna speak on this. Someone's gonna say something about it. I feel it has to be addressed.
I agree.
It's gonna be somebody. It's gonna have to be like a Denzel or Danny Glover. It's gonna have to be somebody with.
Yo, my ribs. Danny Glover.
Why we never give Danny?
Yo, nah, but why you always gotta be? Why you gotta be living in the '80s, yo? Who the hell's gonna let Danny Glover get on stage and start talking?
Real talk. Danny's resume is ridiculous, yo. Like,
Yo,
he's a bad rap because of. And Morgan Freeman. What about Morgan Freeman? He got.
of course you could bring Morgan Freeman up there, but Danny Glover in, like, first of all, Danny Glover comes up to talk. His voice is so raspy and low, you're gonna have to automatically put closed caption on. Like, come on, man.
Samuel Jackson. He can say something.
He will. Yeah.
but
No,
think about Samuel Jackson, man. He plays in roles too that I don't know. He's kind of all over the place no more.
Make one commercial. We're gonna boycott. God damn it!
I think he'd be down for the cause, but sometimes he played a role too. I feel like, just in my opinion.
Oh, he left the circle. That's what you're trying to say.
I don't know. I can't get a real honest read on Samuel. It seemed like from his no nonsense attitude he'd be down, but I'm just saying, like, I also feel like he played both sides of the field. So with the playing the game and understanding the game, and then when the just cause come, I'm pretty sure he'd come down and be like, in his badass Samuel attitude, I don't care. I'll do whatever, So that's just how I feel. I don't know why I feel like that, but
There's gonna have to be Denzel there. He's gonna have to come out.
Well, we know it's not gonna be you and your UHF connection today.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I don't even know how you're gonna watch it.
And also, to be fair, Samuel Jackson's been in every year since 1979, so he's been at least one movie for the last 37 years.
he started since '79. He's been making
Actually,
films.
I think earlier, but
Jeez.
he's been in one movie every year
Constantly.
since I've been alive, basically.
Danny Glover ain't up there with the rest of these dudes.
Yo, come on, yo, Danny Glover. He's like no
He was,
disrespect,
but
man.
he stopped
Yeah.
making movies in like '92.
He is straight. He is Wesley Snipes. He's straight to DVD now.
Wait, what was the last movie he in? Was he in Brewster's Palace or something?
Shooter? Wasn't it Shooter? And he was
Oh,
like
wait,
whispering the whole time to Mark Wahlberg.
The woman of Brewster Place.
I think I saw him in.
Hold on, let me see Danny. I'm gonna go to Danny Glover's IMDb and see what pops up.
His resume, he got a lot of pay rent movies, but he's up there, man.
Nah, man, he stopped making movies like late '90s.
Ant, all I need is a yes or no if you heard of this film. Okay? Alright, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna start with 2016. Back in the day. No, okay. Extortion.
Can you give me who's starring in with him?
No,
Can you
I'm
put
just
it-
naming
can
the
you
films.
put it in the form of a question?
I'm just naming the films. I just want to know if you heard of the film.
No, I have not.
Like if I said concussion, you're gonna tell me yes.
Yes, yeah, okay, all right.
All right. Well, he's not in that. All right. The Good Catholic.
No,
83 Days.
nah.
Killing Winston Jones.
Wesley.
Long Day Journey. The Ninja He Will Rise.
Hey, he getting work. At least he getting work.
Enron the Black Labyrinth.
What?
Waffle Street. Checkmate. Consumed. Badass 3. Badasses on the Bayou. I'm not reading anymore, yo.
What's his last film in the road that he had that was big?
Damn.
Oh, he was in
Samuel.
Badasses 2. Badasses. He's gonna be in
Badasses.
Dirty Grandpa, which is the Robert De Niro,
Oh,
Zac Efron
yeah.
movie.
That might actually be
That
quasi
might
funny.
be a come up. That's a come. He's back.
And the latest movie that he was in is Diablo. That's with Clint Eastwood's son, Scott Eastwood.
Mm.
So
I haven't even heard one of those movies before.
his son, I'm literally going through his list, and I'm like, I've never, and I watch a lot of films. And I'm like, these, I don't even know if they went straight to Netflix. You might be able to buy these at a gas station.
Yo, it went straight to Epic.
Word. Yo, this is embarrassing, yo.
God damn, dude.
I think Death at a Funeral in 2010 was like the last thing that I can remember him from, I guess. And The President in 2012.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Beloved, he did good.
Which one? Good Lovin'.
No, he said beloved.
Oh, well, when did that come out?
A long
2012,
time
he
ago.
was a black president in 2012.
Yo, all I know is if he come on stage and start talking, they're gonna have to be like, who is that? Like, you're gonna have to whisper to your kids, yo, that's Danny Glover. Like, if he goes up
Only
and starts to
president,
say
shit.
something,
only president to get killed by a battleship falling on his forehead. I'm like, damn, I'm coming home, Dorothy. I said,
Hey, Ant.
Yo, the NSA was like,
Ant,
lying.
Ant, yo, let me get like a 2-piece.
word, man. Yo, some chili cheese fries,
Cheese fries.
extra large Diet Coke.
I'm gonna see if I get some more headphones, man. I'm tired of the jokes.
Yo, are you using your phone?
Nah, I'm on a laptop.
And that laptop doesn't have a microphone. Why don't you just use your phone and log on to Google Hangouts?
That's what I'm gonna do, because last year I'm gonna do that.
And don't fall asleep this time. Alright. Well, Cam, nice of you to join us. But we were briefly talking about we like recap the movies.
What, the Oscar so white?
Oscar So White. Yeah, we were just talking about Oscar So White and like how I guess there was a few performances that got overlooked, but Cam was saying this is nothing new, so we need to boycott it.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
That's what,
Do you think?
what is it? Jada Pinkett Smith is boycotting. Spike Lee's boycotting. Somebody else is boycotting too. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I know. I heard of those two. I know they're definitely boycotting it.
I mean, it's not like it's not new. I think what it is mostly is that there's a bunch of films this year that actually were like quote unquote Oscar contenders and they got shunned. So I think that's the biggest deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you
It was
didn't
too
like,
blatant.
yeah, exactly. Like it was like blatant. Like how did Straight Outta Compton get Best Original Screenplay, but then Creed didn't get Best Original Screenplay? You know, or say for instance like Concussion. Will Smith. I didn't watch it, but supposedly he was really good, and like
He got
even
a
that,
golden, yeah, nominated for a Golden Globe, but not an Oscar.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
two want to
exactly,
go hand in hand.
exactly. So it's like I think, but then again, it just makes Hollywood, it makes the Oscars look even worse because now they're like, oh shit, we did it again. And it's not like they did it again on. It's not like they did it again on purpose. It was kind of like, yeah, they just that's how it is. So they're not even like they're like, yeah, this is kind of normal. So I don't know why everyone's mad about it.
Yeah, the thing that I find annoying is like your movie has to come out in December, literally, for it to become, you know what I mean, like to be nominated. Like
Yeah, pretty
it's like you
much.
can't. Yeah, it's like
It has
are
to
we
be it
really
has to be the
that?
last 4 months of
Yeah,
the year, not the earlier. If you go early, it has to be really dope or it's a wrap.
but that just proves like why can't something come out in say like a August or a July? And granted, that's quote unquote summer
That's
movie time,
blockbuster
but
time, man.
yeah. But if I release something that's like a great film, like I saw Straight Outta Compton, like I got to see what other movies were up for Best Picture, and I'm not saying it should be Best Picture, but I feel like it was a good enough film for it to be considered. I'm not sure if it was even considered and even get a nomination.
Well, Trevor Noah had the thing where it's like, well, you either have to be a slave, getting
Oh, I
beaten
was
like a
just about to say.
slave, or you basically got to make white people feel bad, and that's when you get not to get nominated for Oscar.
That sounds about right. That's
So
that's
if you're not making if Straight Outta Compton had some like Negro spirituals in the middle of the film, they would have got nominated.
like, wait, Dre's a millionaire, a billionaire. Ice Cube's got a lot of money. What y'all got to be sad about? Like,
They were like
nah.
Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Jeez.
But I was in LA last week and I was hanging out with some cats and one dude was kind of saying he was like, yo, all the roles that he's an actor and he's like, yeah, usually when there's quote unquote black roles, it's basically a con, a crook, a coward, a coon,
Slave.
or a criminal, or he had two others I can't remember, but those are like the five that he was just like, just think of every black role. He's like even Django, like Django was black superhero, but if you really want to get down to it, he's actually a supporting character because Leo and Christopher Waltz are actually the main characters of that role, and
That's
then
true.
and then Django was like kind of like second fiddle or the sidekick if you want to put it that way.
Django was Mad Max.
Yeah, basically, he was there, but he wasn't the main dude. And like,
Yeah.
and so he was saying that like, look at most of these major quote unquote African American roles, not really too much of them are like the top billing. Although I have to admit, Dope I thought was really good in terms of just top to bottom, like good writing, good score, like fun stuff, original screenplay, like an original story.
Did that get nominated for anything?
I didn't get nominated for nothing. But I actually really enjoyed Dope a lot more than Dear White People.
That's still another movie. Three movies I haven't seen.
Yeah, Dear White People was one of those movies where I think he had intentions to do cool stuff, but then he got a little gun shy at the end and you pull back. Where I think Dope had a really good premise, and they kind of sell you on one thing, and when you watch it, it's a little bit different, and it's actually good different, not like bad different.
Hmm.
And plus, a lot of people that were involved in the film definitely made the film better. Like Pharrell was one of the executive producers. He's also the person who did the score, as well as
For Dope?
yeah, for Dope. A couple other like notable people like executive produced the film. But I just went to the Black Comic Book Festival this weekend, and one of the things was talking about uh, how the quote unquote black elite doesn't necessarily invest in black art, whether it's movies, books, television, all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of sad that well, Tyler Perry is a good example where he's actually dope. Like he bought a freaking military base. I think it's in Atlanta. He's
Hmm.
converting it into a studio. He's starting to make it available for other black filmmakers to use the studios to make their art and all that kind of stuff. Whether you agree with his type of films that he makes or not, he's still putting money back into the community to give other people a chance. Where people that are they have money and they're doing big things, but they're not necessarily using that money to help, other black folks in terms of the arts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the films that they're making. Like, I'm not. This is just me. I'm not going out to support Tyler Perry. Like, I'm not a
Yeah,
fan
of
of
course,
those type
of
of
course.
films. It could be a white person making it. Like, I'm not gonna see it. Like,
Yeah, and that's a
so
very specific type of film and films and a genre that there's certain people that like that, certain people that don't. But I think also if
exactly.
more people like, say, you always just use the Beyonce Jay-Z example that are have the money to actually fund these films, that if they found a pet project or something that they thought was dope, put the money in to actually let other young black artists like make their films and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the one thing that's lacking in Hollywood and all that kind of stuff, where it's just like, yo, if you're well-to-do, you have an extra mill or an extra whatever, produce young black art, because there's tons of people that are like doing sci-fi, that's doing dramas and all these different
Mhm.
types of stuff, and you don't really see the other elite of Hollywood or the other spectrum of black wealth putting it back into like other arts. I think that's the difference. That's the difference. You always see like the random indie film getting produced by another artist or another actor or whatever, but you don't really see too many rappers or singers or even athletes putting money into the arts to get shit produced.
Yeah, like the guy who did Creed and Fruitvale Station, Ryan what's his
Coogler.
name?
Coogler.
Yeah. Like I always say I follow directors. Like anything he puts out, I'm gonna watch it. And I feel like he's starting to get a name out there. Like I can't name at least like a lot of like black directors. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I
Like
mean
off the top of my head.
he's got a good track record. Like the Fruitvale Station, a couple people believed in him, put some money into it, and made it happen. And like again, he's young. He's like 29. He's
Yeah.
straight from Oakland. You hear any of his interviews, he still has that hood mentality where he talks and all that kind of
Yo, he
stuff.
just interviewed J. Cole and like blew up J. Cole's spot. He was like, "Yo, how's marriage?" And J. Cole's like, "No one knew I was married." He literally blew up his spot today, or whenever that interview was.
But see, that's dope. But again, he's like straight from Oakland. He's not like he hasn't got like the PR training or anything like that. He still has like, you listen to his voice and how he is the way he sounds. He
But
is from
don't you want
Oakland,
that though? Don't you
and
want that
you
raw
do.
kind of? You know what I mean?
You
Hmm.
definitely do. You definitely do. I think it's awesome that he did that. So, and also too, he also recognizes how he got there and all that kind of stuff. So he's been doing some good stuff about just shouting out the people that's helped him get there and all that kind of thing. So I mean, overall, he's doing it right. I'm actually curious to see how he does Black Panther. It's a good opportunity for him to kind of shine. And he, like I said, he's already 2 for 2. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens.
Well,
Yeah.
he can't mess this up, man, because this is our like one of our prominent. I'm serious. I'm being serious, not on my own
No,
bias.
no, I know. I'm just laughing because if Ant was on right now, we've had conversations where Ant was like, "I can't see no black superhero," and I'll be yelling at him like, "Yo, dude, like you
Hey,
have to understand that
if the
there needs
people
to
can
be."
go back and see our chat when I was champion Black Panther, I think it was him and Pope that gave me the most problems and said, "Who's the enemy gonna be? White ape?" Or they didn't take it seriously. I said, "Okay, watch. Black Panther's about to happen, man."
Yeah, I mean the panel that we were
Who
at,
was the last superhero we had? Spawn in the
yeah,
movies. I mean,
fine.
As a main
Or
character,
yeah, as a main character.
uh,
Hancock. Yeah,
actually, which was not a bad movie. I actually liked
it
it.
wasn't a bad movie though.
It is a good
It
movie.
just happened to be at the black superheroes are drunk and
No, Blake. What's what? Oh, the last one is
yeah.
probably Hancock, but I was gonna say, um, well, we do have Blade, so that was our go-to like for a minute.
Well, that really kicked off Marvel in
Mhm.
terms of people taking it like realistic and saying
Yeah.
that they can make movies.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, and also like at the panel it was funny because someone was like, "It's true, Black Panther's coming up, blah blah blah." But Black Panther was created by a white guy, produced by a white guy, directed by a black dude. That's awesome. But
Well, he said he was gonna hire an all-black cast, and Coogler. Just want to give you a shout out, let you know if you need me to play a bodega shop owner. Definitely your man.
Dude, reach out to him, man.
Yo, black guy
Hit him
number
up on
7.
Twitter.
Black guy number 7.
Yes, exactly. So I'm definitely, trying to be a part of. Like, if I can be any part of that, this is huge, man. Black director directing a black superhero. That's crazy. And then we can probably get Luke Cage up in there. Have his own little thing or something. They're not big characters, but they mean a lot to the black community.
That's true. I mean,
what about the original Miss Marvel? She was black.
Yeah, she's actually doing her thing. But I mean, the other thing that
why is Ant trying to invite us to his call?
What's wrong with this guy?
Somebody give him the meme. Give him.
Hold on, let me try to re-invite this.
Somebody copy and paste this Martin Luther King meme when he's just looking at you with the straight face. Like,
man. What is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, at Singleton, everybody.
Hey man, he's a IT graduate. Don't knock the hustle.
Quote unquote. Oh, there he is. Yo, turn off your camera, man.
Hold on.
And put his hand over it.
Somebody hand over the head with a cracker jack.
That laptop. It was a laptop. I gotta use my other laptop. This other laptop is for the birds.
How many laptops you got? Like 3?
I'll use my phone. Is probably struggling in my laptop.
Hey, Ant, holla at me, man. I work for Skynet. We get you one of them specials.
Good looking, man. I appreciate that.
Just ask Cam. You part of the evil empire now. You went full circle.
I heard. I can't do the evil empire though. I'm sorry.
we're watching, Ant. Get it together, Ant.
Get your life together.
To quote, today is technically, I guess when this airs, it won't be, but today's Martin Luther King Day.
National Black People Day. Woo.
Yeah, I know, Kim, you had a question about it.
Well, no, first of all, people at work was like, "Are you coming into work?" I was like, "No, this is Black people official day off." I mean, I'm sure. Let me also go back and say this is not what Martin Luther King Day is all about, having a day off. But I could
actually, to that credit, the one thing I would have to say is Easy Mo B posted on Instagram a good chronological history of how Martin Luther King Day came to be. And it's really dope, actually. It's a little bit long, but it talks about it literally starts from the 5 days after his assassination, and it gives you the dates about how people tried to get this day to happen over the course of, like, I think it's almost 20 years, roughly. But it's super interesting, very, very interesting. I knew some of it, but I didn't know all of it, and it was definitely something cool to see.
Interesting. Well, I always have, like, I read a couple articles. There was one that I came across, and then there was another one by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who kind of looked at the whole Martin Luther King Day. Sometimes it's not represented right. And then I also wanted to pose the question is, like, how as Black people, how are we supposed to celebrate Martin Luther King Day? Is it watching his movie, or is it like listening to one or a couple of his speeches? How are we supposed to, like, celebrate not only the man but his ideals appropriately as Black people in America? Because, like, Black History Month rolls up, you gotta know. It's like you getting quizzed. If you, like, it's like when you're on the block and you got one of these dudes that's from the nation and they say, "What's your math today?" I'm studying 730, kid. It's like with Black History, I got like non-Black people coming in. It's like, did you know that such and such invented the steel and made this? I'm like, yeah. I mean, why are you trying to school me? But at the same time, message. But at the same time, like, Black people come to you, it's like, yo, hey man, you need to know at least one of your something about Black history. This is our month, I'm saying, like, so
our month. Back
to the original question is how is a Black person nowadays supposed to celebrate this, like, this man who came with these great ideas and preach nonviolence, and then sometimes how do you see it interpreted by, like, the white media?
Who wants to tackle that first?
Hey, my bad. I came hard on a Monday. So.
I left something on the oven. I'll be right back. Now let me stop.
No, I think it's a mix. It's a mix because sometimes some people forget. I mean, it's either a day of service or a day of chill, and I think Google had that as their
Their image, the
yeah,
splash
like
image, yeah.
like their survey of the day, and they're like, is MLK a day of chill or is it a day of like service? So some people look at it as a day of service, like go out and volunteer and they do some cool stuff, and other people are just like, oh man, it's a day out, I can just get off and I can just relax,
Well, I came across something on Twitter by
Don't be talking about the images.
no, I'm not going there. No.
You're not talking about the Ciroc specials on the Ciroc specials on Martin Luther King Day, right? Martin Luther King weekend, right? Okay, cool.
So one of these Twitter guys I follow, who's really active with the putting the right message out in the world, he posed a question: what does honoring Dr. Martin Luther King look like to you? And I came across one that listed 3. It said listening to more than one of his speeches, not whitewashing his history, and erasing respectability politics. And those 3 things were the epitome of what Martin Luther King represented for them, and that's how they honored them or honored him. I thought that was pretty interesting. That because Martin Luther King comes around and it's like, all right, I gotta listen to the I Have a Dream speech, and then I think I'm done. But sometimes it takes a little effort to go and learn about the man more. Some new, like 20 things you didn't know about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King wasn't a perfect man, but people put him as like, him like especially against him and Malcolm. One was peace, and the other one was preaching quote unquote violence. But in reality,
Professor X and Magneto allegedly.
Yeah, seriously. So in reality, they had the same ideals. They just thought that it went about a different means to an end. But they had meetings where they had a lot of common ground. But it's always depicted that they were always at ends, and that was quite the opposite. But like I said, for me, Martin Luther King, I get up, I go through some of his speeches, not some of his speeches, but his ideals. Because not a lot of people talk about his ideals, and it wasn't just all peace. He would stand his ground as well, just like Malcolm would do. I found out he wasn't a perfect man. But these are things I've learned over time. But it's always interesting to hear. For me, it's just like always interesting to hear other people's perspective, how people look at that. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? This one holiday that I don't think gets enough respect. I mean, we got Christopher Columbus Day off, but not everybody celebrates Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Well, to answer that, Cam, what I do now, celebrate, especially now after play the father role for Nathaniel. He's 9 years old. I had him watch a few speeches. I also make him look up, the accomplishments that Martin Luther King does. Also, as well as any other black pioneers, because I'm not going to sit here like you said and just say, well, Martin Luther King Day, I'm going to just tell you about him, and then tomorrow you'll never hear me talk about, black movement and black rights again. So I try to educate now, even if it's just one person, because eventually he will become a black adult, a man. So it's my duty to be a leader and try to mold him in the same way how Martin Luther King influenced me. I want to be a Martin Luther King in his eyes. Mm-hmm. I don't want him to just idolize just one person. I want him to idolize me just the same as Martin Luther King. So that's how I do it with the kids now. So I get what you're saying, but that's the route that I'm taking now, because like you said, I don't want it seem like we invented this, we invented that. Okay, now go play your PlayStation and you never hit my mouth again. No, every day I want him to know his history. And even not just black, whites too, because that's a message that he brought across too, equality. So that's how I take my approach with that.
Well, Kareem has said, his legacy may be most in danger from those who admire him. It's not the people that don't observe, it's the people that may observe that may have good intentions but put it in the wrong direction sometimes,
Yeah.
He was also noting the fact that, King, having a King Day is confirmation that there was a war that was won. Racism has, quote unquote, been eliminated, or that we have overcome to a certain extent. And I mean, the ideals are prevalent, but I don't think it's like a complete thing. So I mean, we look at the civil rights movement, like we look at antibiotics. This is what he goes up to say, and then he said recent events clear this disease of racism that is infecting the culture, but the Martin Luther King Day needs to be a rallying cry to continue to fight the disease, and rather just a pat on the back of what's already been accomplished by King himself.
I think that's how it's viewed. Like even today, like why is there 18 million NBA games on? How does that celebrate Martin Luther King? Like I think the message gets
Yeah.
lost out there. Like
Hello, black people gotta work too.
yeah, but when you watch TV, I remember this bootleg McDonald's commercial growing up with a candle and
Yeah.
like somebody singing like ooh and it's a burger. And I used to get so pissed as a kid. Yo, I'm gonna find it and put it on the Facebook page.
Yo,
I was like-
why on another note, why all the Black History commercials sound like Negro spirituals from the chain?
I don't know.
Cause they pay attention.
Yeah, you just
No,
look
no,
up
no,
from
no,
what you're
but-
doing.
But honestly, the songs are so we when they get deep, that's the kind of songs that we needed to make it through the struggle and the slavery. So this the case somebody doesn't get offended by that.
Way on down the water. Let Jesus.
So-
People go.
I swear, man, I feel like I'm about to split the seas of the Euphrates or whatever, the Nile, you know. Every time I hear black, and it was always the NAACP and
Oh, I
the
was just
candle.
about to say that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, exactly.
Always.
Yo, but I think like days like this, they're important, but it can't just be one day. Like if we really want to make a difference, like look at the money that we spend. Like it's basically slave owners that were spending. Like George Washington, why is he still on the dollar bill? Like if they really want to give
Yeah, but
everybody,
also too, the other part that people always forget, and I say this multiple times, is like it's cool that true the injustices that's happened to black people, blah 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 blah. But in reality, like we still are like literally less than 10% of the population of America, and so it's interesting that we're less than 10%, but then the way we act is we're like 40 or 45. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of things that are like disproportionately against us, like police shootings or incarcerations, all that. But also too,
and when it comes down to money too, the amount of money we spend is more than 10%.
yes, and also, but the thing about it is where that money goes that is the most interesting part. So it's like it's cool because like this happened at the Black Film Festival as well, where people were like, oh, Black Americans, we have X amount of trillions of dollars of spending power. Yeah, but we use that spending power to go to non-black people. So it's like it's awesome that we have all this spending power, but like the Jewish community.
It's tough if we're only 10%. If you're going by those numbers, like how are we gonna find the next person to give them our money?
And
But you know what though?
And the whole thing I was saying was, again, people like to say like, oh, black people have spending power, da 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 da. But the thing about it is we're not a monolithic group where we all just go to one place and that's all we do. It's so many different facets and so many different types of people that like it's cool that we have all this spending power, but it's like we're not sending all that spending power like, you know what, right now we're doing nothing but buying black products that made by black people, that's da 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 da. That's never happening because we still like hair and we still like Jordans.
But Ken,
and both of those things are not owned by black people.
Exactly. You know what it is? It's going to come down to like, why is it? Granted, I'm not knocking Jay-Z, Puff. I know they're the activists. They put to community, but why Monty Projects ain't condominiums yet? Why all these millionaires who make all this money?
No, I mean you can't
Not
say that
because
like those people will get moved out. That's not a good example. And
Yeah,
those people won't be able to
right
afford
now.
it. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, what about
actually
all right.
mostly considered Jewish?
Well, what about a Michael Jordan and LeBron James? Now, granted, these guys are going to be billionaires. There should be no reason why they're still working for Nike. This is the only way we're going to break out of this. We have to own literally our own. You cannot be LeBron, but then you're working under Nike because you're still underneath somebody.
He just signed a lifetime contract.
But to break this mold, we have to literally own something like an NFL franchise. The day that happens where we could get together, chip in our money, and buy a team, that's when progress will really be made because now we're really the boss.
I agree 100%. When I'm watching these NFL games and I'm looking at the owner, he might as well just have a whip in the press box.
Might as well.
The way how he's looking at the players and he's there with his old wife, I'm just like,
but also you have to remember though, look at the black community and what we actually value. So we don't value.
All it takes is one voice though, like a Martin Luther King.
No, I disagree now because the thing about it is, and I go back to the Hair and Jordan situation where you have you have a situation where people don't value, like, say for instance right now, people in like say rap music right now, like people want to be a boss. You know, the young kids are always talking about being a boss and blah 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 blah. But it's interesting that they want to be a boss, but they don't want to be an owner. They don't want to be an entrepreneur. They don't want to be a founder.
I think they're using the wrong words too.
And they are using the wrong words.
I don't believe that they don't want to be like the head person in charge, the top of the food chain. I just think the terminology they've been instructed to use have been they've been using it conditionally wrong.
Wrong, exactly.
Like you said, everybody wants to be their own quote unquote boss, but they don't think to be an owner because it's not in their vocabulary. It's not in their vernacular. We're not taught to.
They're not taught to be a boss.
Yeah, we're not a boss, an owner.
But and also too.
But that goes to what Cam is saying, that they're using the words that they're hearing. So in terms of them learning about ownership and doing certain things, and like how you guys are saying, they're following the trends. They're not going out
not
there.
Even trends. I don't think they're taught the right way to think and go about it. Think bigger than that. You're thinking the dirt and the land when you should be thinking about the sun, moon, and the stars. You got to think higher than that. And I don't think a lot of facilities encourage that model of thinking. Like I said,
and that's
not being a boss. It's about being like somebody bigger than that.
And to your point, Cam, like you said, if I leave Nike and I make my own sneaker, Anthony's, I'm gonna get laughed at. It's like you can't have your own anymore.
I swear, if Jordan left Nike right now,
he can't take his name. I guarantee they won't let him take his own name.
100%.
No, he owns
But he owns Jumpman.
Jordan Brand.
Yeah, Jordan Brand and Jumpman. That's a separate thing.
That's what everybody has to do. Everybody has to do that, though.
You can take the Heisman away from Reggie Bush, but you know who won the Heisman.
Yeah. But all right, we say he owns it. Okay, he's not getting 100% of those profits. He might be getting 25%, and Nike's getting the rest. And
he might get a little bit more than that. But
what I was trying to convey is that if Jordan left Nike right now and made his own shoe, he has the resources to make his own shoe company, put all that backing in there.
Yep.
I think he'd still be popular if the shoe's still hot.
He can't take those designs with him.
No, not
like all those retro Jordans that come out.
He is an entity now that is beyond the design of the shoe. Granted, a lot of people who grew up wearing his shoes or have this nostalgic feeling of wearing a certain kind of Jordan. But I'm sure if Jordan just got a fresh perspective, a team that's really good at designing shoes,
some cool designers,
yes, so they're taking people who understand the foundation of what made his shoe popular and run off with that. I'm pretty sure his name alone will still hold weight because
Jordan is by far the only person in the world who could do this.
But we need that though. We need somebody like that to do that.
We do. I'm just saying, kids are buying the sneakers who have never seen this guy play a day in his life. Now, say a person who they see play, say like a LeBron James or Steph Curry, want to go out and get their own sneakers. Like they're not going to have that type of back in.
What I'm trying to say is that Jordan can start the chain.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
So if Jordan, hypothetically, if Jordan started this, and
look at Marbury and how he started. He was like, "Yo, I want to make a shoe."
He just didn't want to. He didn't start on his own shoe. He went to China to make his shoes more affordable.
He started in America, New York. And everybody laughed at him.
Everybody laughed at him because granted,
now sold out in New York, yo. Yeah. People were buying them. I don't know what people in Pittsburgh and Texas were doing, but I know in New York they were picking them up. So.
No, but what I'm trying to say is Marbury is not Jordan. I'm talking about somebody with power, one of those power players. That's the key. If a power player made this move, I think others would follow. So like if hypothetically if LeBron had Jordan's power, LeBron had Jordan's like weight and shoe game, and he said, you know what?
Shoe game, exactly.
Yeah. So if he was to say, I'm going to go off and branch off and make my own shoe, and made a respectable, dope shoe with his emblem, and it's not Nike, and people started to follow suit like a Steph Curry, because Curry's kind of almost there, but he's still under not his own company. It's Under Armour. Who would think to see people wearing Under Armour shoes? Now because you know why? He's
they
good.
Got Tom Brady. Yeah, they got some people underneath them.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's like back in the day, I wouldn't even fathom Under Armour. I wouldn't care if it was Jesus himself wearing those shoes. You couldn't pay me to wear Under Armour. Now it's more acceptable to wear Under Armour.
Well, that's because you're older too.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. And the generation is more accepted to that it's just not on Nike. Like you'll see people really rocking the Under Armour Curry because you know
Yep.
why? He's a marketable and he's very good. And not only
That-
you have to be marketable, he's good at what he does.
All right, that's a maybe. Yo, Ann, let me ask you this: Could I have gotten away with giant sneakers in 2015 as a fifth grader?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
But even Spadi, even still, we still have to cross that barrier to literally say we're on the same playing field.
Yeah,
We
I
have
think the
our own.
word I used earlier when I said trends, I wasn't talking about what they're seeing. I guess I shouldn't have used that word. I'm talking about even in their household. Like a
Yeah.
lot of black parents tell their kids to be a lawyer or a doctor. At
Instead
least
of
when
being
we were
owner.
growing up, instead
Yeah.
of, hey, why don't you own this or why don't you feed
Yeah.
what they want
But
to
it's
do?
also what
too,
Cam said.
you also forget, remember, you have
It's
to remember,
educated too. My parents went through the struggle of you have back then. They didn't have the resources to go to school. We could, so it's like okay, go to school because this is what you need to further your life. So I guess going to school in turn eventually will turn into having your own business and being an owner.
Yeah, but also
and
too,
some odds.
remember when people, a lot of kids when they're growing up in, our generation, a lot of parents were just like, yo, graduate from high school, go get yourself a job. They didn't say go to college. They didn't say do all that. Some
'Cause
did,
times are
some
different.
didn't, and depending on where you grew up and
Yeah,
who you're
yeah,
around.
that depends. They might have need that check from you, but I was told to
Exactly.
go to college.
But
Yeah,
then
like see
so-
for me, I was told to go to college straight, but then there's a whole other generation that was just like, yo, graduate from high school, get yourself a
They
good
get a job.
make
Yeah.
sure you keep it moving, get things, and keep, and that was the extent that they all had to do. So a lot of times what people forget too, especially in the black community, it's like not everybody was, put on that path to be, an entrepreneur, own their business, all that stuff. Other people were just like, yo, be part of the machine, get a
But
job, make your money, provide for your family, and you're good to go.
you
But
know,
don't you guys think like going to school is being part of the machine as well? Like
oh,
like in certain instances, like I'm not saying school is bad or you shouldn't go get a higher education, but I just feel sometimes when you go to school, you're still programmed just to sit down and you know what I mean, like listen to this person, like follow orders, do this instead of kind of thinking out the box.
yeah.
And that's not everybody, but
I would say this, D, right? But the way how this world society is built, you have to go to school. But as far as learning and educating yourself, that's up to you. Schools is not going to do it. It's just going to give you just enough to get by because you're going to forget 80% of what the hell they taught you anyway. So
I think starting a job, in my opinion, might be the way to go. It all depends on your child, but how many people that started a job are they're probably managers or they're owning something now or they learn a trade compared to at least some of the stuff I learned in school. I know I'm not using it to this day. And not saying it was a waste of time, but it also was a waste of time. Like you're not getting real world knowledge in some of those classes, like
No,
the
you're not.
practical stuff that you can use every day.
But
Like why
it-
the hell am I sitting down learning about this?
it's almost, yeah.
Go ahead, Cam, what you say?
I said we call those people smart, dumb people. Because like, no, I'm serious. They're book smart, but
No,
when you
I
get to
agree.
know them,
They're book smart, yeah.
yeah, there
No
are
common
no
sense.
college courses that prepare you for real world experience. We learn.
Mm-hmm.
We are a generation, maybe the last generation,
The last.
learn real world experience in the field before we even came to college. So when you didn't have enough money to pay tuition, it wasn't a problem. You just got your hustle on. Or you didn't have the meal plan to eat on the weekends because you know how to make syrup sandwiches. So, you know what I'm saying?
You grind, yeah.
Yeah, you grind. So,
Yeah.
I mean, kids nowadays who probably go through like some type of lightweight hardship to us, it's just like a blip on the radar. They're not prepared, and college does not prepare the youth. And even in our day, when we were going to college, like they still didn't prepare the youth for the real world experiences. Like you're not gonna always get a job right after college. You're not gonna have you're not gonna make an extra zero on your check. You have to work for it. It was like, hey, you go to school, you come out, you're gonna be successful. Now, statistics does show that you may have a quote unquote have a better life, whether it be job or happiness or some type of positive in your life, opposed to not going to school. But that's not to say if you don't go to college, you're gonna
You ain't gonna make it.
You ain't gonna make it because there's a lot of, well, you know, sometimes they say the most successful stories are those college dropouts or the people that didn't go to college, but you gotta understand they did go to college sometimes. It's not like they didn't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Steve
they have
Jobs-
a
found their
brain.
passion. They
Yeah.
found their passion and left.
it's not like they didn't go to college at all. They failed to tell you that. It's like, no, they went to school. They just felt
Yeah.
like school wasn't for them.
And they were
Kanye
smart
went to
too.
college. He
Well,
was.
and also too, a lot of those same ones were people that had the means that if they did drop out of college, they could still do stuff like create their own, business or make their own apps or all those types of things. So like a lot of times when someone's like, oh, this person dropped out of college, but they
Bill
had,
Gates, Steve Jobs, like
they
these
had the
motherfuckers
means,
going to Harvard.
yeah, they had the means to like not be in college and still do some cool stuff
Exactly.
and survive, as
Yeah.
opposed to like
And-
people that drop out of college is like, shit, I need to get a job so I can like survive.
And you know what's sad now, fellas? I'm not all kids, but I'm watching these young kids. Yo, when I say there's no hope, yo, I've never seen on the news so many kids getting in shootings and gangs. It's like on an all-time high for me. I've never seen, like, it's so sad. Like, me and Dwayne, we talk about it all the time. Like, it gets me sick to my stomach where I literally am afraid of my kids to go outside now. Like, it's so bad out here, man. These kids and have no direction, and their influence and their role models is the rappers. And I hate blaming music, but at the same time, these artists are like their parents, and they idolize it. Like you said, I'm the boss. I got to get this bread, and it's like these superstars, their kids is in private schools and not even listening to their own music, and it's like it's so like we're so backwards, man, and it's. I don't even know.
And that's actually more because of what people value is, what people value. So you have like when people talk about hip hop and all that kind of stuff, most black people want to talk about hip hop. They don't talk about rap. It's not it's not even close to what the global hip hop perception is. So when people's like, oh, hip hop is dead or it's so horrible these days, what they're really talking about is just rap. Like outside of America, like hip hop has done some crazy, amazing things on a political level, on a social political level, on artistic level, creativity. But in America, hip hop is basically, whatever's popping on rap, Future and all the other random ass rappers. So that's why it's when people say, oh, hip hop's dead, or what are these kids learning from these like rappers? It's like it is sad because it's like, yeah, if rap is the only thing that is your barrier to anything like hip hop ish, stuff's gonna be pretty whack,
It can't. What does that take to the household? Parenting. I think that's the number one.
No, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It comes down to the parents. When I was growing up, I listened to hip hop, but that hip hop was more. There was different sections. There was creative artists. There was like gangsters, and like when I was growing up, not to say I was naive, but I would listen to songs and be like, yo, these people crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, like what?
Yeah,
what
like
We didn't idolize them.
like, yo, Biggie, like I'm not going to Brooklyn. I didn't idolize it because I wasn't trying to get shot. I was like, I'm gonna chill with a Tribe Called Quest because I know you're not gonna kill me. But I was listening to all of it, and they were telling stories. And as I got older, and of course it came down to parenting, I figured out like, oh, this isn't real. Like these people are telling stories, and this is a crazy way to do it. But the kids nowadays, like when they're listening to Future, and he's talking about drinking codeine, this dude's never done it. He's freaking sipping on Avion water and freaking whatever, Poland Springs. But what the way hip hop is in America compared to how it is internationally, it's more of a commercial product. So they're selling these false dreams and stupid drug habits on these kids instead of doing what they were doing when we were growing up, storytelling. And not saying they weren't talking about drugs, but it wasn't only that. There was also other, like, there's more substance to the music.
Yep.
No, that's true. And that's why now it's interesting to see what people say is like, hip hop and rap and what's popular, what's not, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's cool to see it because I'm just like, it's almost bad for us to be like, man, I guess people do only look at the bottom of the barrel of, musicality stuff and all that, as opposed to just like looking at things in a total.
But you have to, Cam, because all these kids are using it like this, and a lot of people out here thinking that they're Rick Ross and these rappers.
Yeah, look at this kid who died today, a year ago, ASAP Yams. And he was the one who founded like ASAP Rocky and brought the whole mob together. And creatively, he was a smart kid, but he died from he kept on drinking that syrup, and that was a culture that he lived in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's what's promoted. So it's like I'm pretty sure a lot of people that we personally know only drink Hennessy because Tupac said it.
Oh yeah, for reals.
You know what I mean? Like they're only smoking weed because their favorite rapper did it.
Yeah.
And like
people talking to
yeah,
me, they
and-
love Hennessy. I'm like, yo, Hennessy is fucking disgusting. Yeah,
exactly.
people are drinking it like it's the best thing in the world. I'm like, really, dude? Like,
They
you know
swear
what?
by it.
And I was like, you know what? There's the high end Hennessy is actually a good liquor, but the low end one that they give all the black people, that's just fucking disgusting.
But here's a good question though. Do you from what you know what's funny from what Martin Luther King should say equal opportunity, have your own? Are we doing progress being that yes, even though they talk about all of this, but they have money, they can buy a car, they can take care of their families. So on that aspect, is that a good thing that they're doing, even though it is a bad influence on one end? On the other end, they're not out here killing people. They have a job.
I think honestly it's more of a balance, like because the one thing that's I've been noticing more and more is like you can't really knock the hustle. You know, we always say, oh, you know, you can't knock this person's hustle or whatever. But what's different is there's no balance it. So
Yeah.
before you'd have crazy Wu-Tang or the Grave Diggers or all these other random Brotherlyn Chung.
Yeah.
On the opposite spectrum, you'd have KRS-One and freaking Public Enemy and Tribe Called Quest and De La. And then another aspect, you'd have, you know, the Down South cats. So you'd have this big wide spectrum of stuff. So there's like, it's not just one voice being heard. Where nowadays it really is just.
It's just one voice.
It's
Kanye was rhyming like Post Malone and Drake on that song that he released 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 100%.
When we talked about Kanye the other day about Cam, how you said what's wrong with change, Kanye was straight soulful and talking, do the right thing, and he just did a 360. Again, that's the Kardashian. Once you smash Kardashian, you don't come back, man. That's the dark side.
Nah, I don't think it's necessarily that. It's just that people forget that Kanye doesn't write his own shit, so he sounds like who's writing and stuff. Like it's not
now or back then.
No, back then.
Always, yeah.
This Negro has not written anything on his own for like
that's new to me.
I'm gonna put this out right now. I heard the No Panties for LA song, and whoever if Kanye didn't write that verse,
he's nice,
bruh.
I didn't hear it yet.
That's dope.
Kanye gassed. He gassed Kendrick Lamar on that track.
It's a dope. But again, like Rhyme Fest was like writing for that dude from like jump to now. Like that's the part I don't understand what people don't get. It's like, Kanye's cool.
So he can't rhyme at all? I thought he could rhyme.
I didn't know he wasn't writing his stuff.
He always had a help from jump to now. He's always had help.
That's different.
He might have there might be some stuff that he wrote by himself, but in general, he's always had help 100% from Bob.
I can't believe that somebody wrote College Dropout. I don't believe that.
Well, he didn't write Jesus Walks.
Man, he didn't write.
Rhyme Fest wrote Jesus Walk. Wow.
Yeah, Rhyme Fest has an Oscar, a freaking Golden Globe, and a Grammy, dude.
Yeah. What was the big song last year from Selma that Kanye was spitting?
That shit too.
Rhyme Fest wrote that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like I think people have this misconception. Like Kanye is an awesome producer, but when it comes to rhyming, like he has.
You can't knock us if we don't know who the ghostwriter is. If this is what you saying you write, you can't knock a fan for this.
Not even knocking. But it's one of those things too where it's like, hey, we live in an era now where before we would look at the liner notes, be like, oh shit, Meth wrote that, or like
that's true. That's
like a good example is ODB. ODB's first album, that's all Jizza. Like that's
man.
That was
Ghostwritten. I ain't like him in his book writers.
wait, what did you say?
Wait. You said ODB or Ghost?
ODB. Not
okay.
I see Ken got a little puzzle just now. Comes.
Hey, I was about to put the hell.
Ken's about to turn up.
Hey, I was about to put the Melvin and the Blue Notes on real quick.
Nah, Ken, I respect Ghost. You know it.
But yeah, I mean, those are the type of things that people don't like really get. Where it's like, and it's not a bad thing, but just it's more of a reality thing where it's like, Kanye's awesome, but at the same time, he rarely ever wrote anything by himself. Period. So when people say, Kanye's in my top 5, I'm like, geez.
I used to
I
love
think
Kanye, Kim.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I didn't say he's not. I didn't say I didn't like him. I just be clear
You
that
mean
like,
top 5 rapper? Like you're not
yeah,
gonna
that's
put
what I'm
him.
saying. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's not writing his own shit. So, in that respect, why wouldn't someone like no, not to say it, but why wouldn't someone like a Rhymefest who wrote most of like 90% of Kanye's raps be the same in the same realm? How do you think Meth has been? How do you think Meth's been making money for the last 10 years? He's been a ghostwriter for some mad people. So it gets back to the thing of where your average hip hop fan, or I should say hip hop rap fan, is not really educated about what rap is about in this current state right now, like in 2016.
But
I feel like when somebody's a big major artist, you assume they're writing their own music, and
Yeah,
it's
you
do,
totally
and it's
assume, totally
I
assume.
mean, well, God rest the dead, but Michael Jackson, like he didn't write all his songs.
No, not even.
yeah.
A lot of Whitney Houston hits, she wasn't writing that.
Nope, that's all Babyface and Cherry Jam and
Jimmy Jam and Terry
Jimmy
Lewis.
Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yeah, but when you go back and look at their catalog, you're like, wow, this was amazing music.
Yeah.
But in the back of your mind, you're like when you figure out they didn't write it, to me, it takes away a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
I think in hip hop, we almost wanted to, it's rapping, so everyone always assumes the person writes their own stuff. Like R&B and pop and stuff, not so much. But
yeah, exactly. To me, the
rapping is
essence
the
of
one-
hip hop is freestyling. From freestyling, you get in the studio. You know what I mean? Like that's how I grew up. Like you gotta start rhyming.
How could you rap about something that you really didn't live?
But also too, you have to also look at it. Like, say for instance, like Biggie wrote most of like Lil Kim's first 2 albums.
Yeah,
You can hear it.
And he also wrote a bunch of stuff for Foxy too. I think Raekwon did some other stuff. But so you have that kind of things going on, and so again, it goes back to when people talk about credibility and this and that, and it's like, that's just been kind of over for a long time,
Well, I still respect it. I can't. Well, we'll put it this way: the way Kanye just flipped around and became what he is now, I ain't feeling that. Whoever told him to go that route, acting, ghostwriting, whatever, I don't. What made you is what made you, man.
What I feel about Kanye, he's always he wants to be on the latest trend. When he was growing up, hip hop was the shit. Now it's making your own T-shirts and clothes with holes in it. This person got people dressing like Jedis out here, man.
True. But also too, that type of chameleon attitude is the reason why people like a Madonna, a Prince, a Janet Jackson, a Michael Jackson have had the longevity because they're easy. They can bend with the times, but still having their own personal stamp on it.
All day, every day.
And that's the one thing that people, especially when it comes to rap music, don't really understand. So there's a reason why you might buy a freaking Prince album right now, but you're not gonna buy LL Cool J right now.
Let Kanye come out and say, yo, fuck fashion, fuck rap. I'm making gumbo. Come buy my gumbo. I just opened up my own waffle spot. I'm not listening to one more song. Anything. No, he's blacklisted. So,
you ain't tasting this Kanye gumbo right now?
When you start doing too many things, that's when I'm like, all right, man, like make up your mind, man. You can't be doing all this.
Well,
I know
fellas,
people are talented, but I'm like, come on.
If that's the case, MC Hammer is the greatest rapper of all time because at least he kept it 100 all the way out. We had he kept it Hammer all the way to Heat.
Wow.
That's what both Cams. He's on the Bay Area, so I'm not.
Yo, I used to rock with Hammer Hard Body. Too Legit was a 20-minute video. I remember all of that, man. At least he kept it 100, man. If that's the case.
Yeah, but back in those days, there was a space for that type of person in hip hop. Let a MC Hammer try to come out nowadays. They're gonna be like, yo, like what
are you talking about, dude? They already got it. They got Dabbing. They got the Quan.
Hammer took it to another level.
The amount of dancing and shit.
Who was doing Hammer moves in the club? No.
Can you imagine Rick Ross doing Too Legit Too Quick? Too Legit.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yo, let me see someone doing that Hammer dance in the club. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, what's wrong with you, man?
It might be a spice.
No, you know when we do it? Because when we hear Bell Biv DeVoe, everybody got to do that little Bell Biv DeVoe move. So if the Hammer come right after that, somebody going to be typewriting out.
Yo, everybody's hard, man. You can't be cool no more.
Jay Wallace dabbed when his jersey got raised in the rafters. Like Let him do a hammer dance. Ain't no one back in those days was doing it. It was too hard.
Yo, back in the days, you was allowed to have fun and just be yourself. Now is you got to be hard and tough, man. Yeah, them days is over, man. Creativity to an extent.
It's a copycat league now, yo.
Yeah,
Creativity is dead to me.
Yeah, creativity is over.
It's whatever's selling, and then all right, we need 10 more of these. Copy and paste, yo.
10 more of these.
Copy and paste the sound, a little movement, and that's it. Future, that voice, yo, he's on every song on the radio.
Does he speak English?
No, he does not.
No.
Dude, if you cannot speak English, you're not a rapper. I've been saying this for like the last 8 months.
Yo, and yeah, yo, and then people, yo, I think I was on Tumblr, and like somebody was talking about Nas. No, they had an image. It was a Vine video, and this guy was like, it was like hip hop from back in the days, and it's like Nas is spitting, so you see him like rhyming along in the car. Then the next track was like a Future song, so it's like rhymes from nowadays, and he looked so puzzled. So like the captions underneath was like, yo, I can't swag out the Nas, or I'm like, yo, really, like.
They got to that point.
That's why y'all listen to music nowadays. Like it's all about fucking doing codeine and smoking. Like, come on, man.
And dabbing, man.
I don't know. I understand what Future track right now, and I guarantee you guys cannot give me 16 bars in a row of what he's saying.
No.
But D, you know what they call us? Old man, and we gotta live with the times, yo.
I'm like,
Yo, man.
Right, they could call me that, but then I'm gonna ask them what did he just say, and repeat it back to me, and break it down, and let me know what that says.
Yo, but
I guarantee they won't be able to do
his
it.
energy is amazing, though.
Job of the Hut go platinum now, out here now. Starring Future.
Yeah, sold out, yo.
Sold
They have
out.
a hologram.
Fucking Jedi dab.
Jedi dad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. It's like I said, it's an interesting situation now because people will say, well, no, that's just the realm of rap right now and blah 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 blah. I'm like, is it really? Or is that really what people just like, this is what we're gonna sell right now and we're gonna keep moving with it.
Sam, I think that's to them that's considered hot and they don't want to hear about Nas and that's not hip hop no more. Not to all,
I
but to some.
guarantee they're gonna look back and be like, "What were we listening to?" Because when some of these songs that come on the radio, like if Snow's Informer came on, I was like, "Yo, turn this off." Informer, like yo,
I need a boom boom.
I like it boom boom there. Like yo, some of these tracks that Milli Vanilli, like you're gonna look back and be like, "Chill, this was number one on the pop charts. This was number one in hip hop."
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And they were bumping it in the clubs like it was the shit too.
Yo, Cam, I dare you play "Blame It on the Rain" tomorrow at Whiskey Brooklyn. It would be your last night there.
I would totally play that tomorrow.
nah, they would love it.
I would totally play that.
I'm joking. They would love it.
And then after I'll play
for that
Umbach,
crowd.
and then added,
Yeah, exactly. You get away with that crowd. But yo, let you be somewhere and you play that. They're gonna be like, yo, come on, man. What are you doing?
Put him on. Yo,
And that's how this music's gonna be looked about 15 years from now.
I don't know, man. I'll be 55. Like, yo, man, you got that Future and Drake? This was hot.
Yo,
Yeah, I remember I had a conversation with Pope, and he was talking about how like Soulja Boy is like that quote unquote. This was back in 06, 07. Like he's what kids want to listen to. He's whatever comparison he made. I'm like, yo, 10 years from now, it's gonna be looked upon as a joke, and that's what it is.
Yep.
If you put that song, you can be like, oh, you're gonna laugh at it.
Yep.
I hear you.
I give Future 2 more years, yo.
2? Oof. Oh, that's pretty generous.
Depending on the sound
Rick
changes.
Ross is still around, and I guess he can be.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. If Rick Ross is still around, yeah, I could see him doing a little bit more.
Yeah, that's.
Mama.
Oh, man.
Oh my
Horrible,
god.
dude. That's horrible. Puerto Rico.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh,
Hey,
Well, I guess
on
I
another
guess we'll
note,
toot.
no, I got
Go
one
ahead.
more I would talk about real
Yeah.
quick. On the short, did you guys peep the book that came out about bacon? Was it George Washington cake? And it made it seem like the slaves that were in the book, depicted in the book, were happy about slavery.
oh yeah, I saw that.
Huh?
I read the article about it.
So it was
I didn't
like,
see that.
yeah, I put it in the chat. It was like the book was called A Birthday Cake for George Washington. It was released on the 5th of January, and it's being pulled off the shelves because that the people believe that the historical background on the evils of slavery taught the youth that slavery was okay, because you see all these people, the black people depicted as smiling slaves, and it gives a false impression of the reality of the lives
Oh my
that
gosh,
slaves
I'm
lived.
looking at it right now.
Yeah, so they had to, like, it was an
What
uproar, it was
the-
crazy. But this just goes to show you sometimes they be trying to slip on under our noses, and it's crazy that the audacity they have to make a book
Wow.
and think no one's gonna take exception.
Son, a birthday cake for George Washington. It looks like this guy's a culinary chef. Why
Yeah.
don't you take off his shirt so you can see the lashes?
Exactly. I mean, but they make it seem like, oh, this is what it's such a
And
fair representation of slavery, man. It's like, damn, dude, y'all
Jesus
crazy.
Christ, man.
See, to bring it full circle, to go back to what we were talking about with MLK and the Oscars so white, we can't have it both ways. Like, either we're gonna boycott these stuff and don't want to be involved in it and do our own things. Like, if we're gonna start releasing our own brands and owning our own things, then we have to build it up through our community. There's no way that we should be complaining about the Oscars at the same time. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have that type of mentality, like,
Yeah.
if you want equality, but it's not gonna be equal, so you have to go out and create your own things.
But the only thing is, D, as sad to say, not making an excuse, we need that other as well to make it.
Well,
Unfortunately.
not necessarily make it, but
I don't think so.
it's a question of
In our minds, we probably think it's
exactly.
like we need
It's a
a
question.
validation,
Yeah, it's a
which we
validation
don't.
thing. So you
Yeah.
don't necessarily need it, but because we've been in this realm so long that, say for instance,
Accustomed to it?
yeah, like say for instance, if there's the black equivalent of the Oscars, it'll still be the black Oscars. It won't be the Oscars. The Oscars have been around for X amount of hundred
Oh,
years, 100 years plus, and all of a sudden we have the black Oscars, and it's like, oh, it's the Mookies. and people will look at it exactly like this, like, oh, it's a bootleg Oscars. That's why even funnier with Chris Rock's hosting the Oscars this year, and he actually tweeted out, he has like a whole bit on it where he was like, yeah, welcome to the Oscars, the white BET Awards.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
That's what it should be called
he's
from now on.
gonna say he's gonna bring it up. He better say something.
Of course he is.
Oh yeah, of course he is, because that's
You
his
know
shit.
he's writing that material right now.
Right
He's gonna
now.
be real uncomfortable with him in that room.
Good.
Yep, he's gonna have a lot of fun. But also too, they put it on themselves for like literally just being stupid. But it's not even being stupid that people just, again, it goes back to what I keep trying to tell people. It's like, yo, as black people, we honestly would think that we're like a large part of America, when in reality we're a very small part. Now, we do influence a lot of pop culture and what's cool, but again, it's not a surprise when, there's a few black movies that come out that are dope and have credibility, but then they get shunned from the Oscars, and it's like, well, what did you expect? Like, the majority of people that are on the Oscar board are old white men.
But
And
they expect equal, Kim. They want the
Yeah.
same fish. I'm an actor just like your actor. Actress is just like your actress.
this is true, and if that's on the same thing, they're putting everything. They're not apparently, but they're they're apparently judging everything at equal, so they can easily be like, yeah, we judged everything as equally, and we're like, Creed wasn't really that good, and that could be their opinion compared to the other things. So if that's the case, so it's like I said, we have to remember that we have to be that it's not surprising when stuff like this happens, but it's more about what are we going to do about it when it does happen. So, like I said, boycotting the Oscars is actually a good way to be like, yo, this shit is whack. We're not going to be a part of it,
So I guess I'll just watch it.
And should boycott, take it one step further and boycott the movies.
Yeah, that's the same as well. Like think about it. How many black people actually saw Spotlight or freaking The Big Short? Probably
Nope.
no, not that many.
Not that many.
Why would I watch that?
Yeah, but at the same time, them losing the black viewer audience of those movies doesn't really impact them a lot because in reality, though black people do go to the movies a lot, they can still make all their money back by the white population. And that's the point I'm making. It's like it's cool, like oh, black people don't like those movies. That's cool. You guys don't watch it, but then it still makes their money back, or it makes it's critically acclaimed, or they make their millions, or blah blah blah. It's like Star Wars didn't freaking become $1 billion success because of black people. It became $1 billion success because of just people in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a worldwide kind of phenomenon right there.
Exactly, 100%. And so it's those type of things that I think people have to remember. It's like, oh, it's awesome that black people want to boycott shit, but like, oh, so what? 7 people aren't going to go to the Oscar ceremony?
Yeah, but I guarantee you that movie not making $200 million without us.
Yeah,
The,
right.
Whatever that is, The Big Short.
Possibly.
There better be something in it.
Very possible.
Well, it's not even that type of movie. There's no
Yeah,
way
exactly.
it's gonna make. I don't even think it could crack $100 million.
Yeah, or like it's a Spotlight or whatever those other ones. But yeah. No, actually, I agree with you. But it's like those are the type of things where it's just like, we have to. Sometimes we overstate our actual buying power, where we think we're more than we are. But then if we actually sat down and put our collectiveness together, yes, we could be that. But
It's funny
We built this country, bro. We built this country.
us
We're entitled to everything in it, yo.
and white people are like,
Yeah,
yo,
so
thank you for building it. We're gonna give you guys a couple of holidays.
But
a month.
the irony is we talk about all of this on MLK Day, and it's almost like we still have a long way to go, man.
Yeah, we
Well,
do.
Okay, like I said, like what is the real? Besides, I mean, I guess it's just to educate for
The
these
youth.
ideals, the youth, not to forget.
Yeah.
But I feel like there should be much more on Martin Luther King Day. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something like more than
I
just
agree.
they leave the onus
Yeah,
upon the populace to go out and do your knowledge. But sometimes I think we need the responsibility of the gatekeepers of that knowledge, or people who are kind of in the know about the importance and know by sharing the knowledge to step up and continue. It's like keeping your language, to continue that cycle of knowing the history, knowing the significance of where you are at today as a person of color, living in today's society opposed to back in the day, and to realize that these things are here for a reason. You shouldn't take it for granted and blah, blah, blah. But I just feel that there needs to be some more responsibility taking, like for those who are in the know, for those who are not in the know, to find out and not just sit idly by and just say, oh, I have another day off and this is another holiday that we deserve. But we have to understand why we as a people deserve something that needs to be recognized of this gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and sadly, like the information is out there, but it's almost worse that it's readily available because then people don't really actually look for it.
Why do we still have to be reminded, pretty much?
Yeah, where before the information wasn't as readily available, yet people actually searched it, like looked and searched out for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, on a side note, totally unrelated, I'm just going through the internet, and someone posted a page of like a Star Wars storyboard, and there's a character in here, which I'm going to get to you, Dwayne, that you would think it's Kylo Ren, but when he pulls off his cape, it's Jar Jar Binks with a lightsaber, an evil lightsaber, and that reminded me of the post that you posted that Jar Jar was like a Sith Lord.
Yes, I read that.
That wasn't
article.
me. That was Kim. That was Pope. Yeah, Pope.
That was
put
Pope?
No,
There
I
is
think that was,
artwork
yeah, I
in
think.
here suggesting Jar Jar.
Oh yeah, he's a Sith Lord.
The Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just hilarious.
Yeah, I read that on like Reddit. Like someone had like a whole discussion on it, and they even broke down clips from the movie, and they're like, "Look how he does this." I mean, it would have been a great side story if someone could have flipped it that way, but it's amazing how you could take a film or even a book and just make it your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just from those little tidbits.
Okay, and now I'm just getting back to reality, but I just thought that was like crazy because someone was championing that and reason that Jar Jar was like a ultimate Sith, and you could link A to B, but I was like, it's unreasonable. Now I see artwork suggesting otherwise. I'm like,
Super geek, yo.
yeah.
Yo, if part 3 ended that way and you saw Jar Jar picking up Anakin's body out the lava, I guarantee people would have left the movie theaters like, yo,
I'd have announced my Star
this
Wars
is the greatest film of all time. Yo, no, but if they made him evil, you would have been, yo. When I say Kaiser Sose, that would have took it to another level.
Yeah. Because you'd have been like, he played.
That would have been the
dumbass.
ultimate. Like there was no sign that we were annoyed. I'm like, why is this idiot in the movie? Why is he on the cups? Like, get him out of here, man.
And he changes his voice to some scary shit. Yeah, that'd be OD.
Like,
Start talking like
English. Like, Misa, I am the Lord. Like, crazy. Also, I see, getting back to that original Jada Pinkett stance on the Oscars, Aunt Viv is calling shenanigans on Jada Pinkett Smith. Interesting.
Who?
That's not surprising.
And there is one of the Aunt Vivs from Fresh Prince.
The original one or the second one?
I'm gonna.
Oh wait,
I can't really tell.
I thought Aunt Viv was a real person's name.
No, not that Aunt, not the real Aunt Viv.
Dark
Oh,
skin,
no,
dark skin Aunt Viv?
it's got to be the original one because
Yeah.
she's the one who had beef with Will Smith.
Yeah,
Makes
she did.
sense.
So she got that Jada Pinkett for that?
Yeah, I just threw the link in the chat, so you
Okay.
guys kind of get at that.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what's there to not? What's there to not though?
Dude, it's the crab in the barrel bucket. I mean, crabs in a barrel mentality where it's like.
I was like, what?
I know.
Like, Kim, what you eating, yo?
No, but
What you eating, dinner?
it's a crabs in the barrel mentality where it's like, even if Jada Pinkett Smith was saying some dope shit, there's always going to be someone else that's going to be like, well, yeah, but she's whack, or she did blah, 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 blah. So it almost like they say it, which is probably true, but it's like, dude, you just discounted what this person was saying, which is actually a valid point. And I think that's the part that happens a lot more than it should happen, where it's like, yo, we know Jada Pinkett Smith's not the saint or does, whatever, but what she said at this actual moment was actually, a good point. Like, let it be the point, and then you can talk about whatever your grievances like later,
Yeah, I don't even think that should be an article. Like, if you're gonna call me Aunt Viv, you're not even using my real name. Like, I'm irrelevant. Like, you there's no way I'm reposting that. You know what I mean? Like, no one knows who you are. If you just say Aunt Viv, I'm like, who? I literally just said who. I thought that was somebody's real name. I'm like, who the hell is called Aunt Viv?
They don't use their real name. I didn't read it. I just saw that it was a video, so I guess that was.
Oh, I know, but it's not like you said. Oh, Wu is what you call it? Wu is boycotting the Oscars. I know who Jada Pinkett Smith is.
Yeah.
You're not gonna call her Wu from a film.
Yeah.
Why you gonna
You know what I mean? You're not gonna call her
Jada Pinkett-
Peaches from a low down dirty shit.
Jada Pinkett Kids is from Star Wars himself, so people probably saying, yo, your credibility is shot right now with the way how your kids is bugging.
Yo,
Yeah.
man. I dude, the way they rocking is hilarious to me.
This is the reason why we not winning Oscars and shit like that.
Yo, all jokes aside, talking about their kids really quick. What is wrong with Jaden?
Yo,
Oh, that's right. He's doing
Like,
wearing
women's
the
wear?
dress for Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
I forgot about that because I thought you was about to talk about his space cadet phrases, which sometimes I think about it. Like, the more you think about what he says, you like it start to make sense. So I can't.
No.
Don't get caught with it, man.
Yeah, because it's like looking
Nah,
in the
the thing-
faces. It's
Some
like
of the stuff
looking
he
in the-
says is like, okay.
because on the real, it's like you look at Prince too long, or Erykah Badu too long, you get
You start fucking with them.
Yeah. So the longer you start listening and start
You get
replaying
enchanted.
his knowledge, you just like, wait, it's starting to make sense to me. That's when you gotta bail out. It's like, what's that movie with when you keep going into your dreams? Interception.
Oh,
or
Inception?
Yeah, you gotta get out before you go too deep, and you can't.
That's why they made Mike white. They was like, yo, chill, Mike. You're gonna have a holiday pretty soon, man. We gotta make you a widow, man. You getting too powerful, man.
I mean, Mike was already.
You keep on listening to Jaden
weirdo
Smith
from-
and start rocking women's clothes. That's when I know something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, even
Like, this
Will
dude's in
Smith
charge
was
of a
saying-
women's campaign.
Well, Will Smith was saying about his own kids. He's like, one thing that he admires about them is that they're actually fearless in terms of the things they do, for better or for worse. And he would say, but then
He
again,
beat them.
Well, but beginning in, they've lived in a realm where they can literally be 100% free and
So
judgmental, judgment free for anything they do. So they're already rich. They don't have to worry about any of the other stuff that the normal kids are. So they can literally be and do pretty much whatever the fuck they want. So they actually are at 100% freedom, where they can literally, they can, one day work on some clothes and design some shit. The next day, make an album of music. Next day, freaking go to work and do some random
not
shit.
worrying about nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So like they actually are 100% free purely because they're growing up rich. And even what was it? Ice Cube. They were talking about, someone was like, "Oh, your son did a good job in Straight Outta Compton." He's like, "Yeah, he looks exactly like you, but the only difference is he smiles a lot." And Ice Cube was like, "Of course he smiles a lot. He grew up rich." He was like, this dude needs to get a job, and so he can start spending his own money. Like, I want him to start being an actor, so he got his own dough to be spending. Like, but it was funny that he said that because that's 100% true. Like, people forget that someone like a Willow Smith or a Jaden Smith, they're fucking rich kids, man. They grew up rich, so them being weirdos makes perfect sense because they live in a 100% bubble where they can be weirdos without any judgment or anything like that. They're not going to regular ass school to freaking get made fun of or bullied because they're freaking weirdos. They literally live in a bubble where they can do whatever the fuck they want. So when outside forces are like, "Yo, you guys are weird," they're like, "What are you talking about? This is how we lived for our entire lives." So it doesn't really matter.
Yo, once my kids stop praying to a Pepsi can talking about a higher being, that's when the belt comes out, man. Money or not, yo.
So,
Like, yo,
yeah.
Hey, I gotta
Let me be
chime
Will
out real
Smith
quick.
and my son come. What you said?
I have to chime out real quick. Got a little emergency call real quick.
I guess we gonna end it anyway.
Yeah, let's wrap it up right now. Yo, Cam, do your final words before you bounce out.
Man, my final word is because is this the first podcast of the new year?
Yeah,
Yes,
it is.
it is.
You can talk about your Broncos real quick.
Nah, I don't want to talk about them, man. They suspect anyway. I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Fellas, I'm glad we back. To get it started again and jump off. Good topics. I'm glad everybody had a good holiday leading into the new year, and I wish you guys peace and prosperity and the love of one another, and help thy neighbor and whatnot, and hope everything works out in the end.
well said. Right back at you, boy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, brother.
Ant, your final words?
My final
Peace.
words. Wow. Well, Happy New Year to Kim. I didn't see you when you came on. And I guess what we've been talking about today with Black History, man, is like we always keep preaching, man. Yo, you want change, you got to change for your own, and you got to help out the next person, because what we do, fellas, the people on the table of truth, we send articles back and forth. We always educate each other, uplift each other, and that's what people, I think, society has to do, man. You don't know, ask your friend, or go to or you do know, you see somebody who doesn't know, man, just reach out and educate, because like some people just can't educate themselves. They can't fight this battle on their own. So it's all about teamwork, man.
Nice. Dwayne, final words?
Shit. I don't got nothing to follow that one up. I can't talk about my chili cheese fries that I got brewing in the oven over there. I guess my final words are saying Happy New Year to everybody. I just pretty much gonna piggyback off what Ant says. Like, just help out your fellow person. Like, we're all grown adults now, so there's no reason why we shouldn't be a positive influence for all of our communities where we live. Like, we do certain things where it should be looked upon. The youth should be looking to us and saying, "Hey, I could do this or I could do that." So, one thing I always preach is like giving back to your community. I do community service out here. And I just want wherever you're at to kind of give back and help out wherever you live, because you're not going to see these type of stories of good things on the news. You're only going to see a kid get shot, or somebody get attacked. But if you could be that positive influence in their life, so they don't have to go down that road and say, "Oh shit, like Cam works at BET," or this dude just graduated from college, I could do that, or I could do I could do whatever I want to do. So just give back. That's my final word.
Nice.
Amen.
And let's see, my final word, I don't really have one. More just just pay attention. Stay woke. That's like the best one. Just stay woke.
Stay woke.
Yep. Stay woke.
Hashtag stay woke.
Yep.
Hashtag stay woke.
Because it's not, now we live in an age of information where it's easier to find out stuff. But because it is easier, people actually don't take the time to look for the information. So because of that, people get over. And I think that's the biggest.
I think that's a two-headed sword with what you're saying, Cam, because you guys heard about that whole thing in Flint, Michigan with the toxic water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And today their gas is 47 cents in Michigan.
Yep.
So I feel like 47 cents a gallon. So I think that whole thing with what you're saying, stay woke, that's 100% right. Because now 47 cents, that's a distraction. People are gonna be like, oh shit, I gotta fill up my gas tank.
Come up.
Yeah, but keep in mind, there's people who can't take a shower right now. They
Nope.
can't drink water. So, yeah, you're 100% right. Stay woke.
Yeah.
Make Twitter and the internet work for you.
Pretty much, man. Everyone else in the world does, and I think America, we get lazy and we don't do it for ourselves, and so that's part of the reason why a lot of the dumbness can happen, because most people really aren't really paying attention, and since no one's paying attention, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's with politics and everything, man. It's crazy.
Basic civics. But this is the Table of Truth, and we are out.
Young Chipotle in the building.
You can listen and download to all of our episodes of The Table of Truth on iTunes. Just search The Table of Truth podcast.